Hey everybody, it's me Richard with Nightmares, anyone? So, sorry, I know it's been almost 2 weeks since I've been on here doing a book review. Wow, can you guys believe it's November 11th? I can't. It's been almost 2 weeks since Halloween. Wow, so I've got a lot to talk to you guys about, to share with you guys. I am wearing my Overlook Hotel t-shirt. And we all know what story that's from. So I've got a lot to share with you. Come right back after the intro, everybody. Hey, welcome back everybody. So it's me. I've got a huge stack of books here that I've recently gotten. I want to share those with you guys, but I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do, I'm going to talk to you guys. I'm going to do a review on 7 audiobooks that I've just recently listened to. I'm going to take a sip of water really quick. Hang on. So it's about 3:30 here in the afternoon. As you can see, it's really dark out. Yeah, it's dark here in California. It's kind of a gloomy day. I've got a pair of glasses here somewhere. I'm going to throw on my readers. I'm going to welcome some new subscribers to the channel. And like always, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, just hit that button right down there. It's going to be about right here. Just, yeah, if you like horror as much as I do, if you're a reader, hey, this is where we go. Yeah. As you guys can see, I've got a huge library back here, but let's get into this. So, I want to welcome some new subscribers to the channel. In no particular order, I want to welcome Misty Anna, E. Catwood, Heidi, Diamond Painting with Rhino. She follows my Real Men Craft 2 channel. Wow, I just got a haircut, and you know, sometimes like when we first get a haircut, it's just like, I don't know if you fucking like it or not. Yeah, you just gotta get used to it. Yeah, so Diamond Painting with Rhino, she follows me on my Real Men Craft 2 channel. John Mackey, Will Taylor, J.E. Saint, and Lori Graham reads. So welcome everybody to the channel. I'm Richard. A lot of you have been following me for a while. So I'm gonna show you guys the audiobook covers of these books when they pop up. I don't have the physical copies of these. These have been audiobooks that I've listened to in the last couple weeks while I've been finishing that diamond painting of the 4 icons of horror, which is the top one is the Nun, and then Annabelle, and then Chucky, and then Pennywise. Yeah, I have about maybe 2 inches to go on the bottom and it's done. You guys will be seeing that in the next video. This thing is fucking incredible. This thing is so creepy, but it's so beautiful, and it's gonna look great in the frame that I'm gonna put it in. So yeah, these are audiobooks. So I'm gonna pop up the covers as I bring them up and review them. There's been wow, in the last month, in fact, I think I told you guys in the last video, I've had like 4 DNFs. They were just dreadfully horrible. Well, there's a couple in these 7 books that, wow. I read all of these. None of these are DNFs. I did listen to all of them, but I am so pumped about a book I just got the other day. I've been wanting this book forever, and a copy finally came available, but it's this, Chainsaw Confidential. Yeah, it's actually written by Gunnar Hansen, who played the original Leatherface in the 1974 Tobe Hooper classic. And there he is. Yeah, so I'm going to be showing you guys that in the next video in that big old stack of books. So, let's just get into these books. So, I'm not going to be doing full reviews because I do have 7 books I want to talk to you guys about, whether I recommend you read them or skip it. So, yeah, let's get into these. Isn't that Pennywise light cool? I got that right before Halloween. Yeah, we had over 300 trick-or-treaters this year. It was crazy. The weather was cool. It was nice and perfect. But hopefully you guys all had a great Halloween. So, the first one is by Lucinda Berry. It's from March of this year, March of 2024, and it's this book right here, One of Our Own. Now, this is an audiobook original. Now, I normally love Lucinda Berry's books. She writes great thrillers with really disturbing horror elements to them. And wow, this one was just, it starts so good. Felicia is she's kind of like a police officer, but she works at a suicide prevention hotline. And yeah, the book starts out so damn good. It's under 4 hours. It's about 3.5 hours regular speed. So she takes this phone call from this young girl, and it starts out so intense. She takes this phone call from this young girl saying, you know, I can't do this anymore. They videotaped me. They recorded me. I didn't know they did it. They drugged me. We all know what's coming. Yeah, this girl was raped. She was horribly abused, and they videotaped it, spread it on social media. Well, anyway, she tells Felicia that she's going to end it and that she's got a gun and she's going to kill herself. Felicia tells her, she says, you know, she walks her through it. She stops her from committing suicide, and she does something that most of these type of employees, or I don't want to call him a social worker, but a prevention hotline person, she gives this young girl her personal cell phone number, and she says, you need to promise me to call me tomorrow. Well, she stops the girl from committing suicide, and she goes to a very exclusive, like, private school. Well, Felicia's got a son who is also going to the high school. Well, yeah. This was so predictable. It started so great, but for a Lucinda Berry book, I only gave it, wow, I gave it 2 stars, and that was just because the book had such a strong start, but it was crap. It was probably Lucinda Berry's worst book, in my opinion. And when I do these videos on these book reviews, these are my opinions only. You guys can agree, you can disagree. But I can't recommend this to anybody. I just thought it was horrible. I was talking to a couple friends online today, and they were like, wow, you know, Richard, it was really bad. It was probably the worst book of that she's put out in the last 3 or 4 years. It was terrible. It was awful. So I've got a 5-star read on here, and I'm gonna leave it kind of to the last because I want to talk to you a minute. But the next one is from August 2024. Now this is another one by an author who I really, really love his ghost stories. He writes a lot of ghost stories that take place in the Pacific Northwest. His name is Ambrose Ibsen. And this book from August of this year is this one right here, The Possession. Great cover art on the book. Wow. This book starts out with a woman who thinks her young daughter is possessed, and they live in a small English village, and something is taking over, and wow. This one I really dragged to get through. Well, in fact, I'll tell you what I said about it. I'm gonna read to you what I wrote on my Goodreads account. Now, a lot of you follow my Goodreads account, but here's what I said. Yeah, this cover art was so badass. Let me see if I can pull up the cover art just to show you guys. It won't let me, but I'll pop it up right there. So I wrote another example of how horrible narration can just ruin a good story. Normally I would really give Ambrose Ibsen's books a high rating because I really enjoy and love the way he writes a ghost story. However, I really was disappointed with how awful the narration was on this story of a small village that is in the grip of a horrifying epidemic of some very creepy goings-on, and I actually thought that it was possibly done with AI. That's how poorly this book was narrated. The audiobook narration on this was awful. It sounded like somebody was reading, like skipping. Yeah, it was really, really bad. The narration, I don't know, it just ruined this book. It says, I would recommend this fairly creepy story to anyone who reads horror, but do not make the mistake of listening to the audio. This would be better enjoyed, I know, if I would have actually physically read the book. I gave it 2.5 stars though, because the story is fairly different. It's not what you think it's going to be, and I like that about it. However, the narration on this book was fucking terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. And so yeah, it's not a skip it, but I don't know. Use your own judgment. So the next one is from April of 2016. I had seen this book before over the last couple of years. I've seen a couple people talk about it. I've seen a couple people do the review on the book. It is it's AI Nasser's Children to the Slaughter. This is part of I think it's part of a series of books, and wow, the cover was great. Yeah, the cover was really, really cool. What I said about this book, it gets it gets almost a 4-star rating on Goodreads. Wow, I don't know how. I realized that this was the start of a series, but with as boring as it was, I will not be reading the next book. Could not, nor did I care at all for the characters. I would not recommend this at all. I say skip it. It wasn't a good book. It was not a good book. The writing, wow, it for the author's name being AI Nasser, this is another one of those examples. Yeah, I didn't like it. I gave it 1.5 snoozer. So yeah, I did. I gave it a really I gave it a snoozer. And then the next one is this right here. It's from March of 2024. This is The Terror of Willow Falls by Jay Bauer. It's an eye-biter novel. Now, you're going to say, Richard, what the hell is an eye-biter novel? An eye-biter is the character in this book. It's the monster. It's the creature. And this book starts out really, really good. It starts out with this little boy who just, he knows there's something in the woods. Everybody at his school, everybody in the neighborhood talks about the eye biter, and you just don't want to come across it. But I just, well, it's got a great cover. It's got a great cover, but you know, like the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. I wrote, did the author know all these readers who gave this unoriginal story 5 stars? Yeah, it doesn't get very many ratings, but it does get a pretty high rating. I think it gets an average of, it gets an average of 4.2 out of 5. I said, what started as what I thought was going to be a really creepy story about this scary and creepy sounding creature called the eye biter turns into the most silly and stupid story about an annoying and dumb 13-year-old kid who I was actually waiting for the eye biter to eat and take out of this so unscary story. The first half of the book I really liked, except the 2 timelines, which I thought ruined this book. Then the stupid and silly storyline about the grandmother character was so predictable it could do nothing but have the worst ending. I would not and cannot recommend this book to anyone who is over the age of 14. I wasn't impressed. I gave it 2 so whats. I liked it. I liked like the first third of the book, and I thought, wow, this is really clever. The eye biter, the way this creature kills its victims was really, really kind of unique and original, but oh my God. Then we meet the grandmother, and it's just like a bad Grimm's fairy tale story, just horribly told. Yeah, I say skip it. I wouldn't recommend it. Unless you're a kid, unless you're, like a kid, like an elementary school kid, you might relate to this boy. The next one is the third book in a trilogy of God, I know the title is, well, I'm going to show you the book cover. It's called Shadow Watchers, and it's book 3, and it's by A.G. Mock. It came out Halloween of 2023. Now, I loved the first 2 books. I thought the first 2 books were so well written. I really, really, really liked them. However, this book, it says American Fiction Awards winner A.G. Mock. And here's the cover of the book. Very creepy, very reminded me of The Nun. It gets a 4.17 rating. Wow, this is another one of those ones. Extreme bad narration ruined this. I wanted to DNF it third of the way through, but I didn't. I continued and listened to the whole thing. This is the 3rd and final book in this series, and it was upsetting. Don't know now if I, would even read another A.G. Mock book. I love the first 2 books. this was a huge disappointment. I gave it 1 star. Yeah, great cover work. Book wise, I thought it was horrible. Now this next one, this next one's funny. You guys know how much I do not normally like this author. However, this came out in August of 2022. This is The Babysitter Lives by Stephen Graham Jones. Oh my God. This book messed me up. This book, yeah, this book, I loved it. I loved this book. It only gets a 3.61 rating. However, I said, I so wanted to hate this book. I was so wrong. Am I sick to admit that I love this haunted house story? It's very disturbing. It's very graphic and it's very gory. After trying to complete 2 of Graham Jones's other books and hated them, I told myself that I would never attempt to read him again. I just was not impressed in his writing at all. I am so glad that I decided to listen to this one. This book does for babysitting in a haunted house what Laurie Strode and John Carpenter did for non-gore horror classic movies with Halloween. Yeah, we all know that. Before I get into this review, I wanted to let you know that this has got to be one of the more disturbingly graphic and gory horror books that I have read so far this year. And the scenes of gore and disgust in here, and there are so many that it just gets grosser and grosser as they are thrown in your face. Tammy Ellis, if you have not read this book, you've got to listen to this book. You will love it. In such ways that you've never read them ever in a book before. I have been reading horror for over 50 years, and this is probably the most horrific tale of child ghosts and horror that I have ever read. No joke. No joke. When a sick and disgusting mother decides to graphically murder and torture not one, but both of her under 6-year-old kids in a bathtub of scalding water right at the beginning of this book, you better be ready for what is to come after. Yeah, that scene opens the book, so it's not a spoiler, and it might even say something about it on the back of the book. We go forward 11 years. High school senior Charlotte takes on a babysitting job of a new client, the Wilbanks, and her charge will be a pair of 6-year-old twins. What Charlotte has no idea of is the fact of what happened previously in this house. With the next day being both... Hang on, I gotta get rid of the cat out of here, you guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, you guys. I had to make Butters get out of the room. What Charlotte has no idea of is the fact of what previously happened in this house. With the next day being both the day of her SATs, and it will also be Halloween. Yeah, this is a great babysitter book that takes place on Halloween. Don't think, oh God, it's going to be another John Carpenter's Halloween. It's not like that. Will she be able to get both the kids in bed early enough to get some studying in? Before she can pop popcorn, Charlotte has no idea of what is to come this night before Halloween. Warnings. Disgusting scenes of animal bestiality, scenes of torture of a child, and very disturbing scenes of violence. However, it worked so well in this book that it will you'll either stop in disgust and shock, or you will eat this up as fast as you can flip the pages. Highly recommended to any haunted house or Halloween setting horror lovers. I gave it 5 perilous screams. This book is so disgusting, but it was so good. It was so good. I loved it. I loved this book. I have ordered, I'm trying to order a physical copy because this is another book that I would love to physically read. This is the only Stephen Graham Jones book that I've ever liked, and I'm gonna recommend it. I gave it 2 thumbs up. It's disgusting. It's like I said, it's graphic and it's very disturbing. So do not go into this. Go into it with an open mind, because it's very disturbing. And it opens with one of the most graphic scenes of just, oh God, yeah. The mother was sick. The mother was a very, very, very sick person. So yeah, the next one is from 2013, believe it or not. And this is F.R. Tallis's The Sleep Room. This is a very good book. It takes place in the 50s, and it takes place, it's the story about a man who goes to become a doctor at a mental health facility, and he gets a job taking care of the patients in the sleep room, where patients are put to sleep for months. Yes, months. So doctors can study them, and oh my God, this book was so good. I really, really liked this. It reminded me of, oh my God, some of the horror movies in the 70s, like Let's Scare Jessica to Death, and psychological mindfuck thrillers. But this one worked. I really, really liked this author's writing. I loved the way he introduced you to his character, and I said it gets an average rating of 3.22, which I was really impressed it wasn't higher than that. Now, this was my third book that I've read by Tallis, and it was another great reimagining of the traditional ghost story. I love this creepy ass read. F.R. Tallis knows how to make your sleep patterns interrupted and disturbed. This is not your average ghost story. It takes place in the early 1950s outside of London in a medical facility where patients are put to sleep for months so that they can be subjects in the hospital's research. Yeah, now you're going to say that sounds like a John Saul, who is probably my favorite horror author of all time. You're going to say, Richard, this sounds like a John Saul book. Larry Yance, you're going to think it's going to remind you a little bit of The Right Hand of Evil, but this is so far from a John Saul, and this is so far from what you think it is, that it's going to be that once you listen to the narration, you will be hooked. The book is a quick read, and it's not the type of read that needs graphic horror or gore to make you really enjoy it. I must admit, the book had an ending that I did not see coming. I loved the end of the story. I loved the way that Tallis just like, bam, threw it right in your face. And I don't know, as much as I wanted to think that he could have possibly written a sequel, there's probably not, because it was written quite a while ago. I would recommend this to any reader who loves either ghost stories and or horror of a creepy kind. Can't wait to read my fourth book by Tallis. I gave it 4.5 stars. Yeah, I really, really like this book. It's narrated by F.R. Tallis himself and by Matthew Brenner, and it's really well done. Yeah, I really, really liked it. So the next one is, I'm going to get some hate from this one because I know a lot of you guys are huge fans of this series. This is Adam Caesar's Clown in the Cornfield 3, The Church of Friendo. Oh my God. You guys know how I felt about book 1 and 2. This book was the worst in the series. It was just, oh God. Well, I'll tell you what I wrote. I said, so what? A stupid teenager revenge story. After I'd ordered a signed copy of the first book and only having read one other of Caesar's books, which I loved, I thought this would be a new and scary journey with a new author to me. Then when that first book was over, I told myself I would not waste any more time with Quinn or the stupid town of stupid and dumbass people or Friendo that clown. Which can I say was the least scary clown of any fiction I've ever read or watched. Book 2 comes out and it crosses my Scribd audiobook, so I listened to it thinking maybe it would be better than the first one. I was wrong. Yeah, the second one was just really bad. Book 3 now also on my account, so I figured, what the hell, maybe Quinn will get hers finally. Nope. Instead, we have the main character going off on a tangent with revenge. There are all new characters that you could care less about, and the worst of worst narrators telling the story. Can I just say, if you're reading the character of a southern redneck, then can you at least try to sound like one? This was the worst of the 3 books. I would not recommend this to anyone unless you are between 12 and 15, and you don't really have to think about what you're reading. Just waste your time. Sorry, this is as bad as a Grady Hendrix book to me. I say skip it. I gave it 1.5 stars for at least following the book cover's theme of the clown, as a scarecrow. This book actually introduces you to a cult of followers of Friendo. It was so stupid. It was so dumb. It's just... who the fuck cares about Quinn Mabry? I don't. She's just, I don't know. This book was so dumb. And after I finished listening to it, I was talking to a friend, and she said, "Oh my God, Richard, I don't understand why these books are so highly liked." I did read Adam Caesar's You Should, No One Gets Out Alive. I really did like that book. No, that's not Caesar. That's Neville. I read Caesar's the book about the VHS tapes, and I loved it. It was a blast. I thought it was so much fun. This series, I didn't like it. I say skip it, but I know I'm going to take a lot of hate for that because a lot of you love this book. Okay, the last book I'm going to talk to you guys about came out August of this year. This is by Kelly Dwyer. This is Ghost Mother. I just finished this the other night. Oh my God. So, before I tell you a little bit of what this book's about, because I do not want to ruin anything, I did reach out to Kelly Dwyer and I asked her if she would I would love to have her on here as with a live chat with the author, and she said, "Yeah, Richard, I'm game." She said, "Let's do it." So I did reach out to her. I want to do it. Hopefully we can do it by the end of this month. So I'm gonna read you what I said. So this book, I don't even know how I found it. I was searching on my Everand account, and this book popped up, and I thought, wow, that's a cool ass cover. So I looked it up, and it was on there. So I started listening to it. I'd never heard of the author. This is one of her first 3 books she's ever written, but this book was so great. This author's take on the ghost story wrecked me. Now, if this was how all women writers would write a ghost story, the literary world would be perfect. Lily and Jack are newlyweds. She wants a baby terribly, and he wants a career. When Jack gets a new job that moves them from Chicago to Wisconsin, Lily just knows that her history of miscarriages and infertility are over. When Lily falls in love with a huge old mansion, she has no idea what is in store for her and her husband. The house, the Lawrence mansion, is way beyond their price range, but something tells Lily she must live here. They get the house, and Lily's spending habits are out of control. When Jack tells her that she must get a job or they will have to sell the house at a huge loss and move, she is bound determined to get a job to stay here. But when she thinks something is going on after she meets some local kids in her neighborhood, Lily's outlook on life and becoming a mother change for the worse. Is this house haunted? Lily gets a job at her local library, and one of her co-workers asks her, "You live in the murder house?" She finds out that the house her and Jack are living in was the site of a triple murder-suicide, and now she knows that what she thought is true is true. Lawrence Mansion is haunted. But what is controlling Lily? This book was so well written that I was hooked from the first page, and it just gets better and better. When the book took a change, I could place myself in this story 100%. And I knew that I just had to find out where Jack and Lily were going and what was this house trying to tell them. I would highly recommend this ghost story to anyone who loves their scares and creeps thrown at them with perfection. However, there are trigger warnings in this book. This book deals with the tragic loss of a child, suicide, miscarriage, and abortion. If these are factors that bother you, you might not like this story. However, I still would recommend this book. This book is such a great book. Kelly Dwyer takes, you know, what we all love, a ghost story. I think a ghost story is my favorite horror trope ever. And the Lawrence Mansion has got so much history around it. And Lily is just this character that, whether you're female, male, you can really just put yourself in her shoes and feel her pain and her loss. I know what it's like to lose a child, and this book was so beautifully written, and Dwyer's writing is so, it's like, whether you read it, whether you physically read the book or listen to it, it's just like someone is sitting across from you telling you a story. That's how well written it is. The narration was phenomenal. The narration was great. I really am looking forward to sitting down and doing a side-by-side split screen interview with Kelly, and I really want to, well, I kind of know where she got the basis of this book, this story, but wow, this was a 5-star read for me. 2 thumbs up. I love this book. So yeah, you guys, that's just hey, I know I've been here longer than I thought I was gonna be, but you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right there. Throw me a thumbs up. And you guys, in the next video, I'm gonna show you guys that painting. I'm gonna show you this huge stack of books that I've got here that I've gotten in the last couple weeks from both my paperback swap and a couple books that I ordered from Amazon. Yeah, and I want to talk to you guys about a couple other books that I didn't do a review on here today. So, hey, you guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for taking time out of your day. And, hey, wow, the holidays are coming up. Yeah, horror. Terrifier 3 is just a knockout at the theater. We sadly lost Tony Todd. You know, we all know who Tony Todd is. So, rest in peace, buddy. You gave me tons of nightmares. The man scared the shit out of me with Candyman and the Final Destination movies. The man was so talented. And that voice is one we'll never forget. Well, you know, come be my victim. We'll never forget that man's voice. So you guys, keep your chin up. Keep your thoughts up. Just pick up a good scary book. Have great nightmares. A couple of these that I read did disturb my sleep and made me really, yeah. Ghost Mother's great. Ghost Mother, I loved the book. I loved that book. And so you guys take care of yourselves. Pick up a good scary book. And hey, stay scared, you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Richard, and this is Nightmares, anyone. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, you guys. Bye. Hey you guys, like always, it's me, Richard, with Nightmares Anyone. Don't forget to pick up a good scary book. Have great nightmares. Yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense, have a great nightmare, but have a good nightmare. It's, being scared is good for you. Cleanse the old pumper. Be kind to people, be nice, enjoy your horror, stay scared. And you guys, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, you guys. Yeah, he's creepy. I did a huge diamond painting of Sam. Maybe I'll give it away one day on this channel. Take care, you guys. See ya.